When you talk about library management system, the software, what is the main data? Books. When you say library, what comes to your mind? Book, yes or no? Now you want to develop that using software. Now how will you actually represent that? How will you actually represent that book? If you want to work with books, you want to store that data into the memory. If you want to work with numbers, 3 and 4, you have to store these two into the memory and yes or no? Correct? Now similarly, this book is a data. This book is a data, isn't it? Now I want to store this data into memory. If I want to store this book into memory, I need some amount of memory. See the analogy, I want to store this 3 into memory, for that I need memory. Similarly, if I have a book, I want to store this book into memory, right? For that I need memory. Who will allocate memory? Who will give us the memory? Data type, yes or no? Now for a normal integer or normal floating point values, you say int a, b, sum and that will allocate memory for you, yes or no? Now if I want to store this real-time object, real-time entity, right now, which data type should I use? Is there any data type? Is there any data type to represent this real-time entity? No, right? Why didn't Richie give all this data type for this? Because if Richie gives the data type for this book, then you will ask where is the data type to represent the fan? Yes or no? Then you will say where is the data type to represent the marker? I want to write software for a marker company. That means I have to actually represent this real-time object into memory. I have to store it into memory. Where is the data type? No data type. Yes or no? If suppose he has given you data type for marker, then he will ask you where is the data type for the cap? That which is varying. He will ask me, my cap is also real-time entity. Right? No, now sit. Right? So now similarly, suppose he gives the data type for cap, then he'll ask you where is the data type for this model? Yes or no? Right? No? So what Richie told? Richie told that, see boss, for all the primitive data types, for all the fundamental data types, int, float and all that, I have designed the data type for you, use it. But for all these real-time entities, all these objects, right, no, which is actually, this is an object. Right now, I will talk about what is an object in some time. Now, to represent this real-time entity, he says that I have no data type. Instead, I will give you a beautiful concept in C language known as structure, using which you can create your own data type. Understanding it? Right now, what is this data type telling you? What is this data type telling you? What will it tell you? It will tell you how much of memory has to be allocated for the variables a, b and sum. Yes or no? Similarly, now I want to store this object into memory. I want to store this object into memory. Now for this, how much of memory has to be allocated? Who will tell that? Who is supposed to tell that? Data type is supposed to tell that. Right now, for that what we have to do now? What is that we have to do now? Is there any built-in data type for this? No. So what we have to do? We have to create our own data type. Yes or no? We have to create our own. How will we create our own data type? We create using a beautiful concept in C known as our structure. Right now, using the keyword struct. Right? So what is the name that we can give to this data type? We'll give book. Okay. I will give the name as book. Struct book. Okay. That is, open the brace, close the brace and a semicolon. Now my question is it mandatory that we have to give the name book only? No. Can we give any other book? So shall I, call this as car? Shall I call this as car? Can I call this as car? Huh? This should be meaningful, yes or no? Right now, say for example, what is your good name here? Usha, right now, her name is Usha. It's a girl's name, yes or no? What if her parent would have named her as Vinayaka? What if her parents would have named as Vinayaka? What would have happened? Or forget, yeah. What is your good name?
Devraj.
Huh?
Devraj.
Devraj is boy's name, yes or no? What if their parents would have named it as Devrani? What would happen? Devrani, what would happen? Yes or no? Now teacher, everybody forget about teasing. Right now what happens is during the attendance, teacher will call Devrani, boys not seeing girl side, which is that girl. So suddenly this fellow will get up. Then what they will say? Hey, which idiot here, Sala, dabba fellow. Yes or no? Parents are very good here. They know what, in future what will happen to you guys and what will happen to others because of your name. So they have given proper names. Yes or no? It should be very meaningful. If planned, if actually they would have tried, they would have given you as Devrani and you couldn't actually, stop them. When you are a kid, how you will start them? Yes or no? They will say 3 times into your ears actually. Devrani, 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 gone into the brain. Yes or no? And then you will not stop. Yes or no? Right now. So always, good thing your parents have done very good thing. Right now. So there are few people whose name is really not good. They actually, feel very bad for it. Right? So we will not do that. For every data type, we have to give some meaningful name. So we call it as struct book. Now what are we actually doing? Can you tell me? What are we doing now? For this, did we create the data type? Did we create the data type for this? Who did it for us? Richard already done it for us. The compiler will give us integer, yes or no? What about for this book? He says that, boss, I cannot give data type for all this. There are so many real-time entities around you, right now. I cannot give data type for all the real-time entities. So what I do? I will give you a concept. I'll give you a struct, right now, so that using that you can create your own data type. Now what is a data type telling you? That data type will describe the attributes of this object. What is the data type will telling you? What is the attribute of int now? What is this int telling you? Int will tell you that any variable declared with int will occupy 32 bits of memory. Yes or no? That is the attribute. Now similarly, now when you say struct book, it has to tell the attributes of this book. Right now what is this book? Real time object I told you. Yes or no? Now tell me, what do you mean by an object? What do you mean by an object? When do you call it as an object? No, it's all bookish. No bookish over here. No tutorial classes over here. No exams to be written over here. Everything is, you have to go and implement your structure in the industry. Right now, in tutorials you will write, you will get notes. You will get nice sentences. They will dictate notes, you write and you go write in your exam, you will get marks. But you will not become engineer over there, right now. So what do you mean by an object according to you? See, any object, you take any object for that matter. Take which